the stories that have made like the most, I mean, I have stories about, and most sisters probably do and will, stories about like being stalked or about like random people proposing to you and stuff like that. But the stories that deeply influence me are really the ones where you see how the Lord has had a hand in people's conversion. And I think, and sometimes it's nice. I think sometimes it's really moving and really cool because the story doesn't start when you come into the picture. It starts like years and years before that. And one of those stories, I think we had a convert when I was on my mission who, she has a son who he has like mental disabilities, and he started coming to church like many years before I came on the mission. And he came and he kept coming. He kept dropping by because there were elders who were in the Chinese program at that time who were really nice to him, and they like kind of took him under their wing, and they treated him really nicely, and so he kept coming. And they also like kind of taught him English because he spoke mainly Cantonese then, and because of his mental handicap, he didn't really learn languages very well or anything very well. And so during like their, because we teach English classes to Chinese speakers, so they taught him a lot of English. And his mom kind of noticed that he really liked coming to this church, and so his mom would come once in a while. And so this was many years ago. And so after a while, like these elders, I guess they finished their mission, they left, and new missionaries came in who didn't really notice this guy, like this son, very well. And so he didn't have any more friends, and so he stopped coming. And so the mom stopped coming. And after a few years, like the mom started going to other churches, and she had friends invite her to other churches, and she encountered like Jehovah's Witnesses, and she started going there. She started studying with them, and she made a really good friend over there. And her friend, was also like really heavily investigating Jehovah's Witness Church, and so they became good friends. But after a while, like they started to feel like, I don't really feel like the things that I'm seeing here are true and are what I'm looking for. And so after a while, they left. And about, say, just a couple weeks after they left, my companion and I ran into this lady, and we started talking to her. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I've been to this church. Like, my son used to go there." And so we invited her again, and she came, and she brought her friend who she had met at the Jehovah's Witness Church, and they were, and they felt the Spirit, I think, and they felt that what they were learning was true, and was the most truth that they had encountered before, and it was what they were looking for. And I thought it was a cool story, and only possible, I thought like their whole conversion was only possible because of what missionaries like years before had done. And I think that's like the most moving thing to me, is to be able to see, like, for one, how the Lord works in mysterious ways, and for another, how like no effort goes unwasted. I think a lot of times on mission, we tend to sometimes get discouraged and to feel like the things that we're doing don't amount to much. But really, every ounce of energy that you spend, or every bit of effort that you put in, will amount to something. You may not know what it amounts to, but some missionary in the future will, and you yourself will get to have experiences that allow you to see what someone else's previous efforts have amounted to.